So I would like to begin with a story of two frogs. And maybe you have heard this story earlier, but it is a very relevant story. So let me first narrate this. So there were two frogs stuck in a well, and one of the frogs said to the other that, you know what? I feel that there is something beyond this well. This is not everything. There is something beyond this. There is a better place or a better uh, something much better than this, outside or beyond this. So the other frog, he says that you must have gone mad. How can you even think something like that? Can you see it? No, we cannot see it, we cannot hear anything. So how can you even think of such a thing, that there can exist something which you cannot see? So whatever it is this. Whatever you are seeing, that is what exists. There is nothing beyond this. So whatever you are thinking is just waste of time. So the first frog, he says that no, even if what I'm thinking is not true, there is nothing that I'm going to lose. So I want to give my best try to go out of this well and see what is there. Anyways, inside the well, there is nothing to eat. So anyways, we are going to die. And we are going to die in a very bad way, in a very brutal way, by out of starvation. So either I die this way, or I make an attempt to go out of this well and see what exists. So the second frog says, okay, you do whatever you want. All this is just waste of time. So the first frog, what he does is, he tries his best. He jumps and makes all the attempt trying to come out of the well. And as he's jumping, gradually he is moving upward because there are rocks, there are stones. So what is happening is, when this frog is jumping, he's jumping higher and higher. So he's reaching to a higher stone. He's jumping as reaching on a stone which is higher. So what is happening is, he's slowly coming upward. Then as he's trying to jump and come upward, eventually what happens is that, and he's croaking also very loudly, calling out for help if somebody hears. So he's croaking also very loudly. So few people were passing from there and they hear the croaking and they just come to see, okay, maybe some frog has got stuck in the well, let us help it. So they come and then they see that this frog is jumping and trying to come out of the well. So as soon as they see the frog, they immediately help him and get him out of the well. And now just imagine, this frog has been all the while thinking that there is a better world outside. And now that it has come out, it can actually see the beautiful place outside. And also, it doesn't have to die out of starvation, because now it is easily getting things, whatever it needs to eat. So the frog is happily eating everything. And what happens to the other frog? That other frog he thought there is nothing outside of this well. Whatever it is inside this. So what happens? He dies out of hunger. He dies there. And nobody cares, nobody knows about that frog at all. So why did I read this story? That is because our situation is much similar to this. We think that there is nothing beyond this material world. There is nothing beyond what we can see, what we can hear, or what we can perceive with our limited intelligence. So our condition is like the second frog. So we need to understand that there are many things beyond this material world, But what is important for us is to know that there is a spiritual world beyond this material world, above this material world, which is full of bliss, which is full of happiness, which is full of fun, and there are no sufferings. But because we are stuck in this material world and we are so used to this lifestyle, we think that, oh, this is part of life. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gum. Tararam pam pam. We are very happy with it. Okay, sometimes happiness will come, sometimes distress and pain will come. Why should we, bother to even think what is going to happen after this life and all? So this is our condition. We are like that second frog who does not want to even think what is beyond the well. He is happy in the well, he is happy to die in the well like that. So do we really want to remain like that? That is the question. Or if we are really intelligent, then obviously we will try to think how to get out of this terrible place. Because Krishna has named this place as Dukkhalaya. Dukkha Alaya. Alaya means place and Dukkha means misery. So if Krishna, who has created everything, he himself has named it as Dukkhalaya, then who wants to live here? Why do we want to live here? Why not go to a place which is, where he's constantly saying that, my abode is Satchit Anand, is ever blissful. So why not try to go there? Why remain here? So we need to understand one thing, that whatever we think and we feel, that is secondary. But the fact remains that the body is perishable, not the soul. So when somebody dies, the body perishes, but the soul is eternal. So the soul has its own journey. And in this journey, whatever we are suffering or whatever we are enjoying is the result of all the activities that we ourselves have done in our previous births. So if somebody thinks that, oh, my life is full of challenges, I have so many distress, so much stress in my life. Okay. Sometimes my parents are giving me trouble. Sometimes my children are giving me trouble. My spouse is giving me trouble. My boss is giving me trouble. The weather is giving me trouble. My body is giving me trouble. So endless trouble, something or the other happening. So we need to understand that all these are fruits that we are eating of our own karma. Now, one may question that, okay, whatever karma we have done, the fruits we are already eating. So the fruits are getting over, right? No, wrong. We are constantly doing activities. We are constantly performing karma, either good or bad. And to get the fruits of both, we have to keep on taking birth. And not necessarily we are going to get a human body. There is no guarantee. That is for sure. That we, depending on our desires, on our activities, on our inclinations, we will get the next body. And that could be anything, any body. Any body means it can be a lion, it can be a tree, it can be a lizard, it can be a cockroach, it can be a worm that remains in the stool. It can be a dog, it can be a cat, a bird, anything, depending on our inclinations and our other activities. So now the thing is, if you think that you are okay or we are okay to go with the flow, जैसे चल रहा है वैसे चलने दो, then fine. But if you really want to break this chain or this cycle of suffering and sometimes happiness and then again misery and then again some nice time and then again another big challenge, if you really want to break this cycle, this chain of repeated birth and death, then you have to ask your question that what do we do? What is the real solution? Many people may say that हम तो अच्छा ही कर्म करते हैं. Many people say like that we always do good activities. We are always doing pious activities. I do a lot of charity. I help people. I give so much charity to the poor. But what is good activity, or what is good karma, or what is bad karma? This has been described in detail by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita. So if we are doing activities as per the instructions of Lord Krishna, then that's perfect. No problem at all. But if we are not doing as per the instructions of Lord Krishna, then there is a problem. Then there is a big problem. And if we want to come out of that problem, then we have to ask, okay, what is the solution? So coming to that, to find the solution, okay, what happens basically in all this is, as we do activities, we are getting more and more entangled. So this reminds me of a Vaishnav bhajan by one of our acharyas, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So now when acharyas, or when great people, like in the spiritual realm, when they write these bhajans, we should understand that these words that they have written is, they are saying it out of their humility for themselves, but actually they are meant for us. So let me sing the first 4 lines of this bhajan, and then let me explain it. And let me tell you why I sang the bhajan, because in the 4 lines itself, the first solution is given. So the bhajan goes like this. भूलिया तुम्हारे संसार आशिया पे नानाविध व्यथा. So, okay, let me sing the 4 lines and then let me explain it. भूलिया तुम्हारे संसार आशिया पे नानाविध व्यथा. তোমার চরণে আসিয়াছি আমি, বলিব দুঃখের কথা. So here Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, bhuliya, having forgotten, tomare means you. Who is this you? Krishna. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, bhuliya tomare, oh my dear Lord, having forgotten you for so many birth after birth, samsare ashiya, I have landed, I have fallen into this material world, samsar. This material world is samsar. We are constantly, we are doing some or the other activities and running behind, taking care of ourselves. So samsar, this is called a samsar. Even if somebody is a single person, is not married, still they are in samsar, because still they have to take care of their food, how to arrange for their food, how to arrange for their, where are they going to live, the house. So all these things. So when somebody has to worry about these things, or when somebody has to manage and take care of these things, they are in samsar. So bhuliya tomare samsare ashiya, I have fallen into this material existence. Pe nana vidha vyatha. So after having gone through so many distress, so many sufferings, so many pains, so many challenges in life, tomara charane ashiyachi ami. After going through all of these things, now I am coming at your lotus feet. Tomar charane ashiyachi ami. I have come here at your lotus feet to do what? Bolibo dukkher kotha. To tell dukkhe, all these saga, all these stories of my sadness, my distress, my pain, my sufferings. I have come now to tell all these stories to you. So, what is Bhakti Vinod Thakur trying to tell us here? What is he indicating here? He's indicating that when we are in distress, when we are going through sufferings and pains, what would ideally a normal person do? They take out the phone to check, okay, who are my friends who can help me in this situation? Who are those relatives who can support me in my situation? What is my bank balance right now? What is the insurance that I have right now? Who are the doctors I can go to? Anything, in any situation. It could be any situation, but this is the ideal approach of a normal person in this material world. Or the approach will be, okay, let us divert our mind. Let's watch some TV. थोड़ा टीवी देख लेते हैं, दिमाग ठीक हो जाएगा, दिमाग थोड़ा सा डाइवर्ट हो जाएगा. Let's watch TV for some time and our mind will get diverted. So what are we trying to do? We are taking shelter of temporary solutions. In fact, these are not even solutions. They actually add to your distress. How they add to the distress? When you're watching TV, you want to watch something, but there are so many ads. When you watch the ad, you will think, oh, in an ad, Dhoni is saying that if you don't have an LCD TV, your TV is dabba. Then in some ad, they will say that अगर आपके toothpaste में नमक, गरम मसाला, मिर्ची पाउडर, ये loving वो नहीं है, तो your toothpaste is useless. So what happens is that these rubbish things go on in your mind. Next day in the morning, when you wake up, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, Dhoni has said that if you don't have an LCD TV, LED TV, then your TV is a dabba. So that means my TV is a dabba. Till now you were happy. Whatever you had, you were happy. But because you heard someone saying this, now that will go on in your mind. So what is happening? It is adding on to your distress. So basically, these are not solutions at all. These are just temporary makeshift fixing. कि mind को थोड़ा divert करते हैं. But what is going to happen? Is it really going to solve the actual problem? No, it is not going to solve any problem. Do you think your relatives or the doctors or your insurance or the bank balance or any of these things can really solve your problem? No. It can temporarily do something, but it is not the real solution. Then what is the real solution? Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, Tomar charane ashiachi ami bolibo dukkhere patha. The address is given here. When you are in distress, if you are suffering, and if you really want a permanent solution, if you really want to come out of that suffering, then the address is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. That is the address. If you reach that address, rest of the things will be taken care. So our acharyas, they are all self-realized people. They are not like us who have come to this material world, somehow taken birth, and then thoda kuch kiya, and then they come into spiritual life. No. They specially come to this material world to deliver fallen and suffering souls like us, all of us. But we don't understand. We don't like that solution because we think that the temporary solution is better than this. Sometimes certain things taste like poison in the beginning, just like medicines. Who likes to take medicines? Nobody. But when you take medicines, you get cured. If you have a very severe disease and if you say, oh, I don't like medicines, so I don't want to take medicines, but I want to eat nice things. Suppose somebody has diabetes and that person says, I don't want to take medicines. They are very bitter, but I like gulab jamun. I want to have gulab jamun. I want to have rasamalai. I want to have nice cham cham. What is going to happen? That person is just going to suffer more and more. Maybe after some time, their arms and legs have to be amputated. But initially, if they take medicines and they control the desire to have these things, what is going to happen? Eventually, they will get cured. And later on, they can enjoy all of these things. So that is exactly how this works. You may not like to go to Krishna. You may not like to chant. We don't like chanting. We don't like all these, ye sab kya hai, boring. But if you do it, later on you will see how nectarian it is. Because you will realize that all the external sufferings that is going on, you will realize that they are not impacting you. You are able to manage and handle everything more maturely and in bliss, not in distress. Rather than being a distress bag for others, also, you will become a more valuable person in everyone's life because they will see that you are bringing that positive vibe for everyone. So, this is how this process works. Now, the thing is that if we want to continue suffering, then that's a different thing. अब ऐसे लोगों का we cannot do anything. You can take a horse to the pond, but can you make the horse drink the water? No, you cannot do that. If you try to make the horse drink the water, then the horse is going to kick you. So first we have to see our safety also. So you can't make the horse drink the water. The horse has to realize that it needs to drink that water to quench his thirst. The same thing is with us. If we really want to come out of all these distress, and if we are really seeking for a permanent solution, then our first thing is to approach and take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Approaching and taking shelter means nothing. ऐसे कुछ, you don't have to do something differently. You literally have to go to the temple and you literally have to visualize yourself. You have to bow down in front of the deities and you have to pray to them that, my dear Lord, I am such a fool that I have forgotten about you life after life. I have forgotten that you are my ever well-wisher and I have been running and seeking to see if somebody can help me in my situations. But today, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, by the mercy of our acharyas like Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who are opening our eyes, I have now realized that how foolish I have been. And now I have come at your lotus feet. Please accept me and please take care of me. When we pray like this, immediately Krishna takes care of you. Immediately Krishna takes charge of your life. Dear devotees, please raise your hands if you think that it is really worth to have Krishna take charge of our lives. Please raise your hands if you think you want Krishna to take charge of your life. Okay, I can see the responses coming. Thank you very much, dear devotees. If we really want Krishna to take charge of our lives, so now we have come to this agreement that, okay, we need a permanent solution. We want Krishna to take charge of our lives. We want him to take us out of these sufferings. And we want to know what is beyond this material world and how should we go beyond this. Now, having come to this point, I want to read few lines from a book which are excerpts taken from bona fide scriptures. like Chaitanya Charitamrit, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Bhagavat. These are the bona fide scriptures. And I want to read just few lines and then we'll discuss a little bit on those lines to understand them better. So this is the book I'm going to read from. It is The Golden Incarnation of Divine Love, Gauranga. So let me just read this. And this is written by His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj. So Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he is Srila Prabhupada's disciple. And we should understand that they are not ordinary souls. So when we read from their books, when we sing songs by our Vaishnava Acharyas, the mercy and their blessings automatically come upon us. So this is another way of attracting blessings and direct attention of Krishna. So reading from this book, the name of the chapter is The Avatar for This Age. Now, can somebody raise their hands? Okay, I'll ask everyone to lower their hands, and I want you to raise your hand and tell me who knows what is this age called? What is this age? There are 4 yugas. Does everyone know that there are total 4 yugas which goes on in a cycle? Okay, I can see some hands going up. But before that, I want to give a chance to others and I want to see if others know these answers. So does everyone know that there are 4 yugas? If yes, then please give a thumbs up. You can either send it on the chat box. I can see, okay. I can see the answers coming in the chat box. So, okay. So 4 yugas. Now you have to tell me what is this yuga called? What is the name of this yuga? Anybody can unmute. Are you able to unmute? Okay. Yes. Thank you. So, Nandarani Pavani Mataji, thank you very much, my mother. So yes, it is Kali Yuga. This yuga is called Kali Yuga. So for this age, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, descends to this earth once in a day of Brahma. Brahma's day is calculated as 1,000 cycles of the 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. 1,000 cycles of these 4 yugas makes one day of Brahma. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, descends to this earth. He does not take birth. Birth is for ordinary Baddha Jivas like us. We take birth. We cannot decide who our parents will be. Our parents cannot decide who the child will be, what soul is coming. Sometimes some people's children are so mischievous or so, they do things that the parents feel कि कहाँ से आ गया ये, किसका बच्चा है ये? We were never like this in our childhood. Where has the child come from? And sometimes some kids are so divine, such wonderful qualities that even the parents say, my God, we were also not like this in the childhood. How is this child so divine? So a child cannot decide who the parents will be. Parents also cannot decide who the child is going to be. But Krishna decides himself where he is going to appear, who his parents will be, and how he is going to appear, everything, and what is going to happen after that. Everything is decided, planned by Krishna himself. So Krishna descends to the earth once in a day of Brahma. And Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga, whereas Lord Chaitanya comes in the Kali Yuga. So why am I reading from this book? To understand and to establish this point that Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gauranga are non-different. Mahaprabhu comes in the mood of a devotee, but he is Krishna himself. Why does he come in the mood of a devotee? Because in Kali Yuga, the world is filled with useless, nonsensical, and foolish people like myself. We don't want to do anything that requires efforts. We are lazy. We just want everything to happen, as we want. Nothing should. I want this. If it does not happen, we feel that, oh, that person did not honor my request. He did not keep my request. She did not do according to what I wanted or what I desired. And then what happens? We feel hatred within us. We start hating that person or we dislike that person. Why? Because this is the characteristic of this yuga. The characteristic of Kali Yuga is quarrel and hypocrisy. We are all filled with so many anarthas, envy, jealousy, lust, greed. We just want. We are not ready to give anything. That is the problem of this yuga. So Lord Chaitanya, to teach us what we need to do and what is going to help us to come out of the cycle of suffering, he is coming in the mood of a devotee. But we should not make a mistake by thinking that he is a normal, ordinary human being. He is Krishna himself. And this has been established in all the bona fide scriptures. And what I am reading today are excerpts from all bona fide scriptures. I'm moving to the next paragraph. Till here, if anybody has any doubt, any questions, or any comments or anything that you want some clarification on, I request you to please raise your hands and please ask freely before I go ahead in the next paragraph. If there's anyone, I can see Anant Vilas Prabhu's hand is raised. Maybe this is from the previous. Okay, anybody has
yes, that was one.
Okay. Yeah. So if anybody has any doubts, any questions, or any something that is not clear, please raise your hand and please feel free to ask your doubts or questions. Okay. So I'm taking this as that everybody has understood whatever we read and whatever we discussed till now, right? Are we on the same page? Okay. Thank you for your response. All right. It is very hard to be materially happy in the Kali Yuga. Who is saying this? Where is this coming from? These are coming from scriptures. So scriptures never go wrong. Nothing mentioned in the scriptures will ever go wrong and is ever alive. So we should understand that this is the fact. It is very hard to be materially happy in this Kali Yuga. But there is one redeeming quality of this age. Although the Kali Yuga is like an ocean of defects, many defects are there, many problems are there. One can get liberated from material association and achieve the spiritual kingdom by doing what? By chanting Krishna's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Where is this coming from? We should keep this in mind. Why am I repeatedly saying this? Not because somebody is not able to hear it, but because we need to understand this. Only hearing, only listening is not sufficient. Are we able to accept this fact? Are we really able to apply this in our life? Are we applying it? Are we putting the efforts to move one step ahead to come out of our sufferings? If we are not doing that, then how do we expect that, oh, tomorrow we are going to come out of our sufferings? That's not possible if you don't make efforts. This is a general thing. For anything, if you want to get a promotion in your job, this is a very insignificant example. For a mere promotion, you have people slog like dogs. Actually, I was going to say donkeys. People slog like donkeys to get one mere insignificant promotion in their job. What does that really mean? When somebody dies, what is that promotion of any use? People waste their time in their offices to get a promotion, but they are unable to spend time with their family. What is the use of such a promotion if your family is not getting your quality time, if you are not able to spend quality time with your family? But anyway, let's take this as an example. Even there we have to put so much efforts. Then here we are talking of the highest perfection of life, highest purpose of life. How can we assume that without doing anything just like that, we are going to achieve it? We have to put some efforts. But the difference in a material examination and in the spiritual examination is that material examination, when you sit and when you write something, you get marks in direct proportion to the answers that you have written, the correct answers that you have written. But in the spiritual realm, even if you write your name, you still get passing marks. Because the Supreme Lord is very merciful, not because we have any qualification, but because Krishna is very merciful. Krishna sees, oh, this person took the effort of leaving the house, coming to the examination hall, sitting there, writing the name. Okay, I accept this. I accept this person. This is the difference in the spiritual world and in the material world. So should we not take advantage of it? With a little endeavor, we can get so much benefits. In fact, it is also said, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that if you, I cannot remember the shloka right now, but if somebody does a little endeavor in this process, they don't lose the result, they don't lose it. It is never lost, it is eternal. Once you open the account in this process of bhakti, the account is eternal. But whatever accounts you open in this material world, they are perishable. Once we leave the body, once we are dead and gone, wherever we are going, wherever is the onward journey, but once this body is perished, those accounts are of no use to us. But the account of bhakti is eternal. Wherever we stop, we continue from the same point in the next birth. Krishna gives us that opportunity. So please, as an insignificant servant, I request everyone here, I know all of you are wonderful devotees and all of you are very dear to Krishna. But let us all hold each other's hand and try to move ahead in this process. And also, this breaking the chain of our sufferings and all, this is just a byproduct of this process. When somebody is chanting, when somebody chants this Maha Mantra, this is just a byproduct. You come out of all sufferings anyways. But devotees are not even bothered with that because they're always in bliss. Any devotee who is really practicing this process with sincerity and with full faith, with full conviction, you will never see such a devotee unhappy. Does that mean they don't have any problems or challenges? Sometimes they have more challenges than you can even think of. Sometimes they have more difficulties in their life, but they are not affected by it. Because breaking the cycle of this suffering and distress and pain and all these things, it's just an insignificant byproduct of this process. So why not take advantage of this process? of chanting the holy names of Krishna, of serving Krishna. Krishna is saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo Me Bhaktya Prayachati. When a person offers me a leaf, a fruit, water, patram, a leaf, pushpam, a flower, patram, pushpam, phalam, a fruit, toyam, water. When one offers me these things with love and devotion, Krishna doesn't need our anything. In fact, whatever we are getting is given by him. Everything that you can think of is given by Krishna. But what do? We go to Krishna and we do business negotiations, we do dealings. कृष्णा आप हमें ये दे दो तो मैं 10 रुपए का नारियल चढ़ाऊंगा, 100 रुपए का नारियल चढ़ाऊंगा. Why? वैकुंठा में नारियल नहीं है ना, coconuts. Krishna doesn't have coconuts in Vaikuntha. Krishna doesn't get any kind of sweets in Krishna Lok. So he's waiting for our sweets and coconuts? No. Krishna doesn't even care about these things. What matters to Krishna is my love and my devotion. So when somebody goes to Krishna and says, Krishna, you have given me a lot of things, but I have been very ungrateful. Today I want to offer you something with love. And then you offer something, a fruit or whatever you have cooked at home. When you offer that, Krishna accepts it. Krishna eats it. And then when you eat that, it's called honoring. That is prasad, sanctified food. In fact, Krishna has also established this point that anybody who is not honoring or partaking food that has been offered to Krishna or Vishnu is verily eating only sin, pap karma. We are just acquiring more and more sin by eating and drinking water also, if it is not offered to Krishna. This point has been mentioned by Krishna himself. So actually, whatever we cook at home, we should lovingly cook for Krishna and we should offer it. And then we should take it. So coming back to this, that one can easily achieve the spiritual kingdom by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this Maha Mantra is not some ordinary mantra. Many people, they say that, Arey, I am doing this mantra, I am doing that mantra. This mantra, that mantra, every mantra has some or the other potency. But this mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is called Maha Mantra for a reason. What is the reason? Because it is the highest, it has got the highest potency because it is coming out from the lotus lips of the Supreme Lord himself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came all the way here to give this to us. This is what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, and in Kali Yuga, this is the medicine for every one of us. So now we have to question ourselves. Are we taking this medicine or are we not? How lazy are we in taking medicines? To that extent, we are going to suffer further. That is for sure. Whether we like to hear it, whether we want to accept it or not, the fact, the truth, the laws of nature does not change for anybody. So here is our test. We may not go and tell anything to anybody else. Let us be our own judge. Let us talk to ourselves and see where do we stand. Are we really taking the effort to come out of our sufferings and to move towards the purpose of this human life? Or are we just wasting our time and waiting for our next birth and next set of sufferings? This is the question. This is the real question here. I would also want to read one more line. Yeah. When Krishna came down, his pastime was tending cows, having lunch with the cowherd boys in the forest. So many pastimes like that. But Lord Chaitanya's pastimes is the Sankirtan Yagya. Sankirtan means when everybody is chanting the holy name together, that is called Sankirtan. And Yagya means sacrifice. So that is the sacrifice required in this Kali Yuga. He established the Sankirtan Yagya. Lord Chaitanya established the Sankirtan Yagya. Yajanti hi sumedashaha. This is a shloka, a verse, part of a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32nd verse. Yajanti hi sumedashaha. Those who are very intelligent are taking part in these pastimes, and these pastimes are still going on. Do we want to become part of these pastimes, or do we want to continue our sufferings in this material world and continue as things as they are going on? If we ask ourselves these questions, then automatically we are making a move towards the right direction. Then what we do, what we not do, is obviously depends on ourselves. But at least when we ask these questions, we know where we stand. So I don't know how many of you are already chanting or are already offering bhoga and reading Bhagavad Gita. I have no idea because I don't know some of you here. But if you are connected with Anant Vilas Prabhu personally, then it is recommended that you share whatever you are doing, or you discuss, or you at least speak to him that, how can I start, or what is it that we can really do, or how do we begin with all these things, if you are really interested. Whoever you are personally connected with, any devotee who you are personally connected with, if you speak to them, if you discuss with them, share with them what we are doing, that ways, we are all trying to practice this, and by practicing this, we are seeing our practical results in this. No, you cannot force anybody to do something if they do not see results in it. The whole reason that somebody is doing it and not stopping, not leaving it, that shows that they are getting some results. Without results, why would somebody even do it? Why would someone chant Krishna's name? Why would somebody give 7 minutes to do one round of japa if they don't get any results? Obviously, they are getting results. They can see the change that is coming in their life. They can see the bliss, they can feel the bliss that is happening, that they are getting by doing this. They can see changes coming in the family members by when they are doing it. They can see changes in themselves when they are doing it. So, I would request that let us all. It's since we are a family. It's Gauranga Kuthi. Kuthi means a hut. Gauranga is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Krishna. We just discussed from the book named Gauranga. So Gauranga Kuti, we are all living as a family under the shelter, the hut of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So let us all hold hands and try to pull each other out of of the cycle of birth and death, this cycle of stress, distress, and sufferings, and all these things, and let us all dive into the ocean of bliss. And with this, I would like to end my class. I'm very sorry that I extended it a little bit more. I'm not sure what was my time limit. I think it was 9:30, but I'm very sorry because it got extended by 10 minutes. If there are any questions or doubts, comments, feedback, please feel free to raise your hand and please ask your questions. It could be related to the class, or it could be related to your uh, personal questions that you may have after listening to all of these things. So, uh, please feel free.